Athletics. Okay. We also have Miss Anna Magiladze, Mr. Jonico Kokenidze, of course, Miss Elene or Miss Eline Kapanidze, Miss Janelle, and of course, yours truly, Dr. Cherry Dorma. We have also our other experts and academic global team. We have Dr. Taekwen Hong, Professor Wong Ti Yung, Mr. Bernardino Catanyok, Custorio, and Dr. Edward Shakes or Shakes, so Shakes, and Dr. Almighty Corteza Tabuena. And for tonight's speaker and presenter, we have Professor Ezekiel Wilson Doromao. Before I introduce him, I would like to greet everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our masterclass, Content That Converts, Psychology Beyond Viral and Persuasive Posts. We're glad to have you with us today or tonight, depending on your location, anywhere in the world. I understand that international students are joining us tonight or today from uh, different parts of the world, like from Malaysia, UAE, India, Afghanistan, etc., etc. And of course, we're here in the Philippines. That's what's good about learning online. We get to meet a lot of people. We make education possible at any time of the day, at our own convenience. We're glad to have you with us, as I said, joining from different places, but united by one goal: learning how to create content that truly works. Tonight's session is designed to go beyond trends and aesthetics. Our objective is to help you understand the psychology behind why people click, engage, share, and ultimately take action. We'll explore how emotions, behavior, and decision making patterns influence digital audiences and how you can apply these insights to craft content that is not only seen but remembered and acted upon. For our business students, this is especially valuable whether you're pursuing careers in marketing, entrepreneurship. The ability to create persuasive content is no longer optional. It's a core business skill. Those who understand their audience deeply will always have the advantage. This masterclass equips you with practical framework you can immediately apply to campaigns, personal branding, and even business strategy. More than just going viral, we want you to learn how to be intentional, strategic, and impactful in every place of content you produce. Okay, now it is my pleasure to turn you over to our speaker for tonight, an organizational communicator, CEO of Triple Impact PH Multimedia, and a micro influencer. I think he's gonna tell more about himself as he talks. He understands both the science and the real world application of persuasive communication. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Professor Ezekiel Wilson Dermal. Prof, the floor is yours.
All right, and how to make these persuasive posts. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. All right, there you go. Do you see my screen? Do you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so let's start. So this webinar is called Content That Converts, the Psychology Behind Virality. So here's my promise. By the end of this lecture, you are guaranteed to know how to double your social media engagement. Does that sound good? All right, so let's start. Today, we will learn how to apply the ADA model. So I assume my students here have the book, Business Communication Today, because that will be our main basis. So simply put, the ADA model is attention, interest, desire, and action. So before anything else, I want you guys to know something about me. I am Professor Ezekiel Wilson Daramal, and basically, I finished um, Bachelor of Arts in Organizational Communication back in college, and I also minored in digital marketing. And I want to tell you guys about an experiment that I did back in college. I wanted to put my skills into the test. So I made a brand new TikTok account with 0 followers, 0 connections, 0 help, nothing. I started with literally zero, nothing, right? So in less than 2 months of posting less than 20 videos, I accepted 3 brand deals, and I rejected 2. I received over 1.3 million views, received over 70,000 likes in only 19 videos. So um, that's an incredibly short amount of time, especially considering that, I didn't share this in my personal account. I just wanted to see if I could grow by myself, and it did. So this will be, so right now I'm going to be teaching you guys, um, the techniques that I implemented here. And by the way, let me tell you a secret. I also handle multiple social media accounts as of now. Unfortunately, I signed a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't really tell you exactly for whom I offer these services to. But just so you know, I'm really experienced in social media, so please listen up. This will be a quick lecture. All right, so now let's go to phase 1 of the ADA model. This is called the attention. I just want you guys to know how important this step is. And really, this is where I'm going to be spending over half of my lecture on. So please listen to this. Step 1, attention. Because if you cannot grab your audience's attention, then the rest of your video will be pretty much useless, right? Your content, even if it's the best in the world, will not be watched if you cannot um, get the attention of your audiences. So according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, attention is the act or state of applying the mind to something. So what you want here in this step is for your audiences to apply their mind into your content, whatever form that may be. So this is a meme that I found online, and I don't know if you guys can relate, but long texts really just, I don't know. I don't want to read long texts. So in this meme, it says, shut up, I'm not reading all of that. It's relatable. Another thing that you might relate to is you're scrolling through TikTok, you're scrolling through Facebook or YouTube, but you only watch the first 2 seconds of each video before going to the next one. And that is because they didn't grab your attention. So the question now is, how can we even grab the attention of people online today? The simplest fix is to simply go straight to the point. That is the simplest fix that you could do. Go straight to the freaking point, So, who knows this guy? This is Mr. Beast. He is the biggest YouTuber today, and I think he has over 500,000,000 subscribers in all of his channels. And Mr. Beast has what is called the 5-second rule. To summarize, the 5-second rule is basically this. The first 5 seconds of your video must go straight to the point. It must, it must keep your audiences curious about your content. So for the title and the thumbnail, it's also important because it has to be pleasing to the eye. You want your audiences to click on your video. And the title and the thumbnail must set the audience's expectations. So for example, my video is called the top 5 best places to visit when you're in Manila. So that is an example of setting the audience's expectations, because now your audience will click on that video expecting to see 5 different places in Manila that they can visit, right? So the first 5 seconds of your video must go straight to the point based on your title. So From the same example, 5 best places to visit in Manila, your first 5 seconds in the video must showcase these places. You must feed the expectations of your audiences. Otherwise, they're going to click away. Trust me, they're going to click away. And lastly, you should keep your audience curious. Okay, so now you're asking, what if my content is not video based? The same rule applies. Go straight to the point. Okay, so here is an example. I'm not going to be reading all of this because it's way too long, but this is a guy who wants to, this is a guy, he's an influencer. He wants to sell productivity. He wants to sell self-help books. But how can he sell something if this is his thing, you know? So right now he wants to share tips online on Twitter or Threads, but it's way too long. So let's fix that. What if instead of this, you turn it into this? Short and straight to the point. This is the only productivity tip that actually works for working students. Make a daily to-do list and limit it to 5 items. Now, let me explain why less is more. See, you go straight to the point, no more backstories. And let me tell you something. Your audiences are not there to watch you. Your audience is not there to read about you. Your audience, most of your followers basically, are following you for the value that you provide. They do not care about what you ate this morning. They don't care that you had a bad day. They don't care that you were stuck in traffic or that you were busy for the day. They don't care about that. So just go straight to the point. Okay, so this is a good example of going straight to the point because number one, it sets expectations. Number two, it fulfills that expectation. And number three, it makes them curious to read more, right? So now let's talk about the importance of addressing your audience. As much as possible, address your audience. Make it feel more personal and more welcoming to newer audiences as well. So here are some examples. Example, if you're making content for a certain fandom, you could say, hey, Potterheads, hey, Swifties, hey, Marvel fans, hey, K-pop stans. If you are making content for a certain profession, you could say, hey, teachers, hey, students, fellow social media creators, this is for you. Or by their pain point or their situation. What is your audience experiencing right now that you want to address? So for example, if you want to get 10 times more views, this is how you can improve your content. So right now you are addressing those who want to get 10 times more views. Or you could simply frame the wording to you. So here is a clear difference, right? Here's the wrong example. We at ABCD School designed this course to teach digital marketing fundamentals. So the focus is on us. And the question of the audience is, why should I care? Instead, you could frame it this way. You will learn how to build and grow your own digital marketing strategy step by step. Does that sound better? Of course it does. So here is why knowing your audience matters, because you, the creator, can tailor your future content specifically for your audience. And this is why addressing your audience matters, because you want your audience to stop from scrolling mindlessly and watch what you have to offer, right? Okay, so does anyone here know the term doom scrolling? All right, so doom scrolling is basically the act of spending an excessive amount of time watching short form content or, watching random stuff on TikTok, Facebook. It's just mindlessly scrolling. And in a survey, 81% of Gen Zers said that they doom scroll. So right now, the question is, if a large majority of your audience is a mindless scroller, then isn't it important to get their attention so that they stop what they're doing and watch what you have to say? That is the importance of step one, addressing attention. So raise your hands or click an emoji if you watched a video or consumed content from someone you do not follow or you're not even friends with them. All right, I see some hands. Raise your hands if you've received likes or comments from people who do not know you or follow you. All right. So this is actually a common occurrence right now in social media because here is the thing. If you guys know this guy is called Gary Vaynerchuk, more commonly known as Gary V. He is a famous entrepreneur, and he boldly claimed that social media is dead. Social media is gone. It's been long gone because what we have now is called the interest-based media. And this is why, you know, 5 years ago, 5 to 10 years ago, the only things that you see in social media are the posts of who you follow, are the posts of your friends, the posts of your parents, your cousins, or whatever, right? But right now, it's more common for you to see videos from people you don't even know. And that's because of the algorithm change. The algorithm changed from who you follow to now the algorithm now recommends videos based on your interests. So interest-based media, I just want to emphasize this, is where the algorithm focuses on serving content based on the user's interest, not on who the user is following. So, in theory, a random user with 0 followers now has the same chance of going viral as a page with 10 million followers. And you have to believe this because I see this all the time. I see big viral videos and I click on their channel and I go like, what? How do they only have 100 followers? It's because nobody cares about followers anymore. Everyone now cares about what you post, the type of content you post, because it will be shown to whoever is interested in that. So before I go to the next slide, I just really want to emphasize this. When I say that a random user with 0 followers has an equal chance, what I'm really saying here is that the algorithm has democratized the attention phase of ADA. Now you do not have a problem with getting your videos recommended to people's feeds. Now we do not have to pay just to get our videos recommended because it will. Trust me, it will. So right now the game is fair, but it is your job to grab the attention of your audience, and it is your job to keep them interested so they just don't, swipe away. I hear a lot of excuses from people saying that that they got shadow banned, but the reality is, no, dude, your content just sucks. You're not shadow banned. It's your content just is just bad. It's not getting the attention of your audiences. So, implement these steps and you will get better content and in turn get better views. Okay, so now let's summarize the attention phase of ADA. Step 1, make the audience curious enough to engage. And when it's applicable, address your audience and establish your credibility. Step 2, set the expectations ASAP. What do your audience expect to see in this video? And step 3, meet these expectations as soon as possible, right? So if you say you're going to be discussing about you're going to be showing like the biggest steak in the world, you do not wait for that. you show it in the first 5 seconds. Show the stake. You don't have to build a climax because people are just gonna swipe away. And then step 4, give them reasons to stay and feed their curiosity. Remember, just go straight to the point. Okay, so now that we're done with attention, the next step of the ADA model is interest. The Merriam-Webster dictionary describes interests or defines interest as a feeling that accompanies or causes special attention to something or someone. So, in this stage, you want your audience to give special attention to what's coming after the intro of your content. And the question that your audience will be asking is, you have my attention, so now what? This is the transition from your general opening to going into specifics. So you provide the information that pays off the initial promise and builds a case for the audience's specific needs. So, as always, go straight to the point and do not add anything unnecessary. So stick strictly to the topic that your audience clicked for. So here's my tip. Ask yourself this. If I were the audience, what am I asking for by this point of the video? And then address it as soon as possible. So, before I answer this question, because this is a question in itself, if I were the audience, what am I asking for by this point of the video, right? Because as a creator, you want to answer any potential questions that your audience has. But before we answer that, let's discuss the 2 types of content and the 2 types of audiences. There are only 2 types of content. It's either an entertainment type of content or an educational type of content, right? So this is where your strategy will change, because for entertainment type of content, your audiences there will be wider. You have a wider set of audiences. You'll get more views, but they're less likely to buy what you have to offer. On the other hand, for educational content, you're going to get less views. Even if you're the best educator in the world, you're going to get less views because it's more niche. It's more specific to the problems of these specific audiences. But they're more likely to buy what you have to offer. So basically, you get paid via ad revenue for entertainment content, but for educational content, you get paid for what you sell to the audiences. Now let's talk about the 2 types of viewers in connection to this. The passive viewers are basically the scrollers. These are the types to just, I just came home from a long day at work. I just want to scroll through Facebook and turn off my brain for a bit because I want to enjoy. They're not looking for education. They're just, they just want to enjoy. They're passive. On the other hand, we have the active viewers. These are the ones that specifically searched for that type of content, and they want to implement in their life what they learned from you. So an example of an active viewer is, so for example, me, I am a law student. I search for the best law professors online because I want to learn, for example, the rules on evidence, right? I specifically search for that. So I am called an active viewer. Okay, that's just an overview of these 2 types of viewers. So now we could go back to the question. If I were the audience, what am I asking for by this point of the video? And it depends. The answer depends on your content, and it depends on your audience as well. So if your content is entertainment, they enjoy the shallow, the flashy action type, and they hate the nerdy talk. They're gonna stop your video if you talk nerdy, if you talk with jargon. They're not gonna watch that because they're in there for entertainment. On the other hand, educational content, active viewers, they love the nerdy talk. They want you to go deep into the complexities of whatever it is that you're talking about. And what they don't want is shallow entertainment. So they're complete opposites. And you should know who your viewers are, because you will you will tailor your content specifically for them. So let's test this with an example. You made a video that started with the premise, these are the top 5 best places to visit in Manila. Let's answer these questions first. What is this type of content? Obviously, it's entertainment. What is the audience asking for at this point of the video? After saying the first after seeing the first 5 seconds, what is the audience asking for at that point of the video? Obviously, they want to see the list already. So don't prolong it. Show the list already. And how do you address the audience's needs? Like I said, just show the list already. So here is the wrong example. So if your premise was these are the top 5 best places to visit in Manila, you don't start by talking about the history of Manila from when the Spanish colonized the Philippines for 333 years. Because who's going to watch that? More likely than not, they're going to be scrolling away. But if you start with this, at rank number 5, we have ABCD Park. This keeps the audiences interested about your list. And at the same time, this builds anticipation for which place is ranked number 1. So they're going to stay in your video to watch the whole thing. And that is how you keep the interest of your audiences. So to summarize, understand what your audience wants. And it really depends if your content is entertainment or educational. Oh, and by the way, do not mix education and entertainment, because you cannot have the best of both worlds. If someone is really serious about going to you for the educational purpose, they're going to feel sort of insulted if you dumb it down by making it sort of entertainment like. And if it's only entertainment, then don't put anything nerdy in it, because they're not going to watch it. Okay, so just pick one. Are you going to do entertainment content or educational content? That's the thing. Just pick one. And your goal is simple. Keep your audience interested. So always ask yourself, if I were the audience, what am I asking for by this point of the video? And then address that need as soon as possible to satisfy their curiosity. So now that we're done with interest, let's go to the desire. Okay, so the AIDA model is attention, interest, desire, and action. Now we have desire. So let's go back to the dictionary definition of desire. Desire is the conscious impulse towards something that promises enjoyment or satisfaction in its attainment. So, what is your goal here? Your goal is for your audiences to feel, to feel like they need whatever it is that you're saying or doing, right? So how do you how do you make your audience desire something? By providing what your audience wants and exceeding what they expected. So it's not enough that you just provide what your audience wants. You also exceed what they expected. So the goal here is to get your audiences from the mindset of saying, I'm interested, to I want this. That is desire. Make them want whatever it is, right? So what is your goal? It depends. There is no right answer. If your goals are views and reach, then maybe your strategy will be different. If your goal is to sell something, then obviously your strategy will be different. If your goal is to simply educate your audiences, then your strategy will be different. And you should also ask, what is your audience's goal? Is it to be entertained? Is it to learn? Or is it to find solutions to a problem, right? So I just want to share a quick relatable story. If I search for how do I fix a broken printer, I don't want a 10-minute intro of a guy talking about random stuff. I want him to go straight to the point of and how to fix my freaking printer. You know what I mean? So yeah. So now, uh, just to reiterate, for entertainment content, you want your audience to desire watching until the very end of the video. That is your goal. So if you have entertainment content, your goal is to keep it engaging enough for your audience to watch until the very end. Why? Because your revenue comes from the views, it comes from the ads, it comes from the sponsorships, right? On the other hand, oh, this one is supposed to be called educational content. For educational content, oh, wait, no, sorry. This is still entertainment content. So let's go to the desire part of entertainment content. Let's see how we could do that. So you could tease something very early, but satisfy that anticipation only by the ending. So they have no choice but to stick around. So let's go back to the example, our favorite example from earlier. So you start with the premise, these are the top 5 best places to visit when you're in Manila. And earlier we said we start with, at rank number 5, we have ABCD Park. And so for desire, your audience wants to see what rank number 1 is. And that's exactly why they're sticking around to watch the whole video, right? So you put the rank number 1 at the very end. I hope that's clear, because you want your audiences to be always anticipating something, and you want them, at the same time, you want them to be engaged throughout the whole video, so they just don't, click away. Now, let's go to educational content. For educational content, your strategy will be a little bit different. Well, a lot different, because you want your audience to, first of all, believe in you, believe in what you have to say. Number 2, you want your audiences to learn something valuable. And number 3, you want your audiences to need your solution. All right, before I continue, is everyone still awake? Please, say hi in the chat or whatever. All right, good. All right, so we're gonna go viral tomorrow. So yeah. So for educational content, you want your audiences to believe in you, learn something valuable, and need your solution. Why? This is because your revenue doesn't come from the views. Your main source of revenue comes through whatever it is that you sell, okay? So I call this the 3 C's. How do you get your audiences to believe in you? Is through the 3 C's. And it's the 3 C's is basically credibility, content, and consistency. So credibility gets them to listen. Content gives them a reason to stay. And consistency ensures that your audiences never want to leave. So to build credibility, you must, of course, if you have achievements, share them. So just like what I did at the start of this lecture, I showed you an experiment that I've done back in college, and that's why you're listening right now. I also told you about my work experience, which is another source of credibility. But the best source of credibility is not by your self-serving, words. It's when you get a third person to testify on behalf of you. So for example, if you're selling something, you want another person to say, this is the best chocolate bar that I've ever tasted, right? It's just more credible that way. And that is basically the 3 C's. So again, credibility will get your audiences to listen to you in the first place. The content or the value that you provide for your audience is what gives them the reason to stay. And consistency ensures that your audience will never want to leave. So you should always be consistent in posting these valuable content every single day for your audiences. And the audience aims to learn something valuable, right? So, on your part, you must provide something concrete and implementable. You must give them something that they could do after they watch your video or after they read your article or after you watch this webinar, right? You could do something about what you're already doing. And you should avoid leaving any potential questions unanswered. And if only possible, give them a step-by-step guide so they know what they're doing. And who doesn't love step-by-steps? A step-by-step guide simplifies everything. So you really want to simplify it for your audience as well. So this guy, who knows this guy? Alex Hormozy. He's one of the biggest entrepreneurs on social media right now. He boldly claims to give away for free what other people will charge for. Your free content should provide better value than what other people gatekeep or sell. Now you're asking, isn't that counterproductive though? Like, why should I give my secrets away? The truth is 99% of your audience will not implement these things on their own. They might know the knowledge, they might have the knowledge because of you, but they don't have what it takes to implement these on their own. What you're actually building here is your credibility. You're saying that you know a lot of things, so they should listen, right? And as Alex Hormozy says it, give away information, sell implementation. So yeah, you could give away your secrets, but can they do what you're doing? No, they're still going to need your help. So this is for educational content. So let's summarize the third part of ADA, which is desire. So first, you want your audiences to go from a mindset of I'm interested to I want this. And your strategy depends on the type of content that you post. It's either entertainment content or educational content. And specifically for educational content, you want your audience to believe in you, you want them to learn something valuable, and you want them to crave for the solution that you may be able to provide for them, right? So now we are at the last leg of our lecture. And the fourth part of the ADA model is called action. In the Merriam-Webster dictionary, action is defined as the accomplishment of a thing, usually over a period of time in stages, or with the possibility of repetition. The accomplishment of a thing, that is what action is. So what you want to do is to get your audiences to do something, to accomplish something, right? Your main objective is to motivate the audience to take a specific and easy to follow step. This is from the book Business Communication Today. And Business Communication Today also says that the action must be easy and risk-free, if possible. If the process is confusing or time-consuming, you will lose the audience at this very crucial stage. So minimize the friction. Now, this is very common in videos where there are what we call as CTAs, or the call to actions, like my video, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friends, and click the link in my description and the description below to sign up for this blah blah blah. You know, that's the most common form of call to action. But everyone already knows this. So let's go deeper into this, okay? This is the last part, so please listen up. because it's just going to be really quick. Easy guide to call to actions. So, as to frequency, only do one call to action at a time. Remember, as I told you guys, they're watching your content for the value you provide. They don't care about you. They don't care about your personal life. They care about the value that you provide for their life. They don't want to watch a long commercial. So if your video starts with, oh, by the way, guys, before I start, please like my channel, please subscribe to my channel, you know, they're going to click away because you're not getting their attention. And at the same time, they're not going to remember that. So only do one call to action at a time. So does that mean you can only do one call to action per video or per content? No, it just means you have to space it out a little bit. So here's an example. At the first part of the video, you could say, okay, so let's imagine this. I am a video editing YouTuber, right? And I made this video on video editing. So in the first part of the video, I could say, oh, by the way, if you want to learn more in detail, I provided a free ebook and you could download that in the link below. Okay. And in the middle part of your content, you could say, if you want to learn more about how to color grade, you could click on this video. And by the end of the video, you could say, if you want to see more tutorials like this, please subscribe to the channel. So you could see that there is spacing, right? And it's important for your call to actions to have room to breathe. And another thing that you have to know is relevance. Your call to action must not feel like a commercial. That's the main point. Keep it relevant to the topic. So I know it's a bit hard to envision this. So here is an example of what not to do and example of what to do. So let's go back to our previous example. Let's say you're teaching how to cut clips smoothly in a video editing video. And then you suddenly say, oh, by the way, I'm editing my gym video. So if you want to see more gym workouts and diet tips, follow my second channel. No. Like, who cares about your gym workouts? You're teaching your audiences, which are mostly there for your, your video editing videos. So that is not the way. You must keep your call to actions relevant because you want it to feel like a story, not like a commercial break, right? So here's the correct way. So in the same scenario, you're teaching the same editing technique, but you say this: if you want more editing tips to make your video smoother, you could follow me for more editing hacks. That is much smoother and that is much more relevant to what you're actually talking about. Another thing you have to know is that everyone loves the word free. This is the magic word, free. So if you say, click the link in my bio for a free consultation, they are going to click that for sure. Everyone loves a free thing. And you could even attach, other magic words there, like free with no strings attached, free with no signups, free with no credit card information required, And related to this, if you give something for free, you want to encourage commitment from your followers. So you make step 2 feel like a natural continuation of step 1. So an example that we made earlier is step 1. Visit my website for a free ebook on video editing skills, right? So let's say your audience goes to that website and download your ebook. Once they download that free ebook, now you can offer your second call to action, which is your paid services. If you need a one-on-one guidance via Zoom, you could click here to make an appointment, right? So you could see that you're basically encouraging commitment from your audience because step two feels like a natural continuation from step one. And since they already placed in the effort in step one, they're going to want to do step two. And lastly, be descriptive. The audience needs to know what they will get if they click or do something. So don't just say click here to download. Say download this free editing pack with 20 cinematic presets you can apply instantly to your footage. Be descriptive. They need to know what the button does. Otherwise, they're not going to click it. So to summarize, keep your action easy for your audience. And by the way, the more influence that you have, the bigger requests that you could take from your audience. Because the more influence that you have, the more your viewers believe in you, and the bigger the requests that you could, get from them. So instead of just saying like and subscribe, you could even get them to buy whatever it is that you're selling. Another point is people like free stuff, so always offer something for free. And keep your call to action relevant to your content. So that is the end of our discussion. Today, we learned how to apply the ADA model. Just to reiterate, this is the attention, basically the most important part of the ADA model: interest, desire, and action. So attention is the start, interest, you keep their attention throughout the whole content, and then desire, you want them to crave for more from you, and action, you want your audiences to do something that you're telling them to. So congratulations. Now, earlier I promised during the start of this lecture that you will have what it takes to double your engagement on social media. So now I'd like to congratulate everyone because now you know how to double or triple your engagement on social media. So now the very next step is not something that I can do because learning is just step one. Implementation is all on you. So everything that you learn from this, I want you to implement into your own content. And I want you to start today. Please, just start today. You're not going to be perfect in day one. Trust me. Even after knowing all of this, you're going to suck. And that's okay. Everyone starts bad, but eventually we become good. Bruce Lee famously said, "I fear not the man who practiced 10,000 kicks, but I fear the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times." So just keep repeating because repetition is mastery. And how can you repeat something if you don't start today? So, my friends, start today. Thank you.
Wow. Let's give him a round of applause. Well, actually, that was. Can you hear me? Oh, is my mic on already? Yeah, that was persuasive and phenomenal, Professor Ezekiel. And I hope that we've learned a lot and we have all met our objectives for today. Content that converts, psychology behind viral and persuasive posts. Okay, this is Dr. Cherry Marianas de Romal, your program director, CGU, SPL, BBA, MBA, School of Professional Learning. So if you wish to join us, you may enroll at any time. We have courses available for you: bachelor's degree, MBA, and of course doctorate. And I'll give you my contact number, which you may write down now. Okay, this is from Georgia. This is my Georgian number 995-595-038-018. Again, that's plus 995-595-038-018. So you may call, text me directly, or use WhatsApp. I'm on WhatsApp. And of course, I also have my email, dr, which is doctor, short for doctor, dr.cherry, CHERRY, at centralglobaluniversity.org. Okay? So thank you very much. And of course, our students, please submit your requirements as soon as possible so we can move on to the next step. We have our first two subjects ready, and then we have our next two subjects for the next part of this term. Okay? Thank you so much, everyone from different parts of the world. Nuran College, thank you. Philippines, thank you. Africa, thank you. Uh, and everywhere else in the world. And of course, our mother school, Georgia, CGU, Georgia. Thank you, everyone. See you.